The Shark at 1-800-449-8255. So I basically got this Texas and all these 17 states lawsuit against Pennsylvania and those other states. Got it figured out here. Now what they're alleging is Georgia, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin apparently did some nefarious things. They elections are supposed to be entirely controlled by the state legislatures, and apparently things were done that were not state legislature controlled here with these elections. Like all these mail-in ballots, that unsolicited, like something Trump said a long time ago. And, you know, it seems like the dog kind of hunts. Just looking at it on face value, on the surface. Now, there's 5 conservatives on the Supreme Court, but it looks like Judge Roberts can stop any case from going to the court. But this is kind of good, because what I think the real plan here by conservatives is drag this thing into a court in Texas or down south, one of those circuit or district courts, or and then the appellate courts are conservative too down there. So I think that's the plan here. They can get the case out of Pennsylvania, Michigan, and those liberal courts, or those rhino globalist judges that keep rejecting Trump. And by doing this with Texas, you can drag it into a court where a decision could be final in Texas by some federal judge. He could just throw out Pennsylvania, Michigan, and say, you guys didn't follow, you didn't follow the law when you did this. And, then the Supreme Court would have to get involved with it from the Democrats' angle at 1-800-449-8255. So what could happen here is Alito, and he won't reject it, but Roberts could reject this, okay, and say, we ain't taking it at the Supreme Court. So it'll end up going to a court in Texas or Arkansas or Nebraska or Alabama or Louisiana. That's bad news, because basically Texas could sue Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Georgia in another court that is not in Pennsylvania or Michigan, where you got those liberal or rhino type judges. Then there's a final decision rendered out of a court in the South that says, sorry, Democrats, we're going to cede Republican electors, not Democrat ones, for Biden. This is where all shit breaks loose here, and it could go to the House of Representatives at 1-800-449-8255, Clark the Shark Show. So if the Supreme Court rejects this, this could go to a federal court. They don't need the Supreme Court here. And of course, then I think the Supreme Court and Judge Roberts would jump in, because if the Democrats lost in some federal court down in Texas and they overturned this election, which they could. Now, follow me here. These state legislatures also could just send Republican electors. You've seen this one on the Next News Network. 1-800-449-8255. It's true. You don't need the Supreme Court. You just need those electors to vote for Trump. And that's the big concern Democrats have here. This is bad. If the Democrat legislature, now they're not Democrat, they're Republican legislatures that didn't follow the laws in 4 states. You could sue that easily, man. If they really didn't send out envelopes properly and things like that, that don't need the Supreme Court. That could go to a federal circuit court or a federal appeals court or a federal district court. And man, that's bad at 1-800-449-8255, because then what could happen is a court favors the Republicans and Trump, and then the Supreme Court says, sorry, we can't get involved. Wouldn't that be something here? Well, you'd laugh at it, but it's not that far-fetched. And I think that's what the Repubs are trying to do, is drag this into a Texas court or an Alabama court or a Louisiana